The next follow-up will come from the Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And I'm very glad that you've said that the whole point of cooperative governance is that the three spheres of government should cooperate to produce the best possible outcome for the people of South Africa. To best keep people safe, the DA has for a very long time been calling for the devolution of policing powers to local and provincial governments. Despite your government's best attempts to prevent and not devolve any policing powers at all to the DA-run Western Cape or the City of Cape Town, we are doing everything that we can to keep the people safe in their best interest. The LEAP program has put over 1,200 LEAP officers into crime hotspots. And this is why crime is coming down in the Western Cape, even as it goes up in the rest of South Africa. Murder rates here are down 14% year on year. Rape rates here are down 10% year on year. Devolution works. It saves lives. Viva la devolution. Why is your government refusing to give more policing powers to local and provincial government, even though it has demonstrated that it can save lives?
Honorable Steenhuisen, let me remind you, I gave you time, but we know what Rule 1425 says about follow-up questions. Please proceed. Thank you, Honorable President.
Honorable House Chair, I think my answer could be a very simple one. And I'm glad to hear that Honorable Steenhuisen has now taken to liking slogans. Because the slogan I would give him would be Viva la Cooperation. It is where we cooperate. Yeah, where we cooperate and where the national government, provincial and local government cooperate, where we support one another, each sphere of government. Now, those who call for this type of devolution are essentially saying, we want to be separate. We want to be cessationist. We want to be completely different. Now, when looked at in the way, and I'll give you a very good example, in the way that Gauteng is doing a number of things. Because Gauteng is also, as a province, confronted with enormous challenges. They've got 15 million people. And where they have 15 million people, their tasks and their challenges are much more enhanced. And how are they approaching everything? They're approaching everything in full cooperation with the national government. And as they do so, they are implementing a number of measures where national government is supportive from the local government level to the provincial level, and they're coming up with a number of initiatives that are supported at national level. So they are not seeking to say, we want to be completely separate, we want, to have the devolution because we are different, we are separate. They say, we are part of the unitary state and we want support and cooperation from the national government. And that is the way to go. And viva la cooperation rather than viva the devolution. Thank you.
Thank you, the Honorable President. The next follow-up will come from the Honorable Kwankwa.
House Chair, thank you very much. President, andifuna ukukhumsha. Nansi ingxaki, ngelaa xesha lesi strike soonoteksi, abantu bakweelokishi zaseKapa, kwaLanga, eGugulethu, eKhayelitsha, eDelft, bebephila besoyika bengakwazi ukuphuma ezindlini. Because firstly, they were failed dismally by the Democratic Alliance government, engakwazanga ukuthi xa ine-dispute noonoteksi iqiniseke ukuthi abantu ba-safe. In fact, law enforcement, in the majority of instances, ebekhapha iibuses ka-Golden Arrow into townships. But kungaqiniseka ukuthi there was law enforcement, abantu protected. Pregnant women walked from Cape Town to Khayelitsha. Others are physically challenged to walk to Gugulethu. Abantu bethu bebesokola throughout that period. And I visited all the hotspots. But now there was a blame game between Nina and the provincial government and the city of Cape Town, to the extent where the minister even said the city is defined itself outside the parameters of national laws. And it implemented
Your
penalties that
time
are.
is up. Please pose the question. Thank you.
The question is, Bani City was defined out of the parameters of TED. What were those parameters? And what are you going to do to ensure that doesn't happen in future? Because it happens every year.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, even those that are coming, I reminded Honorable Steenhuisen about Rule 142.5. Please, let's stick to that. The Honorable, the President.
Honorable Nkwankwa, kutheni ungathethi ngolimi abazoluva aba bantu? Uthi awufuni ukukhumsha. Kodwa bafanele ukuthi bayive lento uyithethayo.
I can repeat it in English, but
No, please.
Xesha lakho limkile. Honorable Nkwankwa, yes, there did appear to be, and there was a difference in approach between the national government and the provincial government, as well as the local government, which I found to be most unfortunate, because there was a discord between what the Minister of Transport was saying are the rules, and also what the local government was insisting on. And in that whole process of debate and dispute, I think we lost a great opportunity for being able to deliver a very good outcome to the people of Cape Town, particularly in the townships, and all townships for that matter. And it would have been through proper negotiations. And negotiations in terms of negotiating disputes are very hard. They are not easy. Even as during a dispute, you talk about parameters and what those parameters are. It is not often easy. And the parameters are clearly laid out in national legislation, in national regulations, and the applicability thereof needs to be the same throughout the country. And there was a very strong view that when it came to Cape Town, the applicability thereof was different. And in the end, as it appeared that so many taxis were being impounded, almost running into thousands for 6,000, you say, for infractions that could have been dealt with through either fines or warnings and so forth. And that is what would have happened if the national regulations and prescripts were adhered to. And those type of matters needed to be discussed. They needed to be properly discussed without any of the role players were talking past each other. We're now pleased that that is now behind us. What now needs to happen is that the various parties now need to sit down and clearly define what the rules are, the regulations are, as well as the parameters, and where the powers at local government are and at national government are. Because it is when this is clarified that we will be able to have a much better manner of managing transport. And we know that local government has to have the ability to manage transport and traffic within its confines. And therefore they need to be given the authority, but that should hang from a national legislation, because they cannot make themselves independent outside of the national laws of our country. So I do hope that happens as we go on. Thank you very much, Honorable House Chair.